KimSource Direct is a single source supplier. In business since 2007, they have over 80,000 products for customers just like you. Located in the heart of North Carolina, they supply cleaning products all throughout the Southeast. Whether you're a commercial business, office, or municipal building, looking for wholesale cleaning products, chemicals, cleaning equipment, or service, they've got you covered. Please reach out and start saving money today. Stop by their store open to the public and save. KimSource Direct, 1207 South Park Drive in Kernersville. Give them a call at 336-515-9990. Order from the website at kimsourcedirect.com. TRSR Triad Hot Deals, the top deals on sports tickets, dining, and fun in the Triad. Visit TRSRTriadHotDeals.com right now and sign up to get the best area deals in the Triad every week. Powered by Tobacco Road Sports Radio and SportsCarolinaMonthly.com. This month, save big on Carolina Cobras season tickets. Go to 7 home games this season for only $45. That's an $80 value. Buy your 2022 season ticket package now with this exclusive deal from Triad Hot Deals. Visit TRSRTriadHotDeals.com. Visit the sports tab and secure your package. Limited number available. That's TRSRTriadHotDeals.com.
This is Donald Ware, host of Box to Row, jam-packed on the show, talking NBA with Mike Wallace of Grind City Media, talking Final Four, and talking with former Alabama A&M quarterback Aquil Glass, right here on Box to Row.
From press box to press row with Donald Ware, Saturdays at 9 a.m. on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
Maylor Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture, located at 205 North Cherry Street in Kernersville, is your family chiropractor. Dr. Maylor's goal is to treat and correct the underlying cause of patient symptoms, to alleviate pain, and to restore balance. Maylor Chiropractic treats pain, sports injuries, injuries from auto accidents, and much more. Start performing to the best of your ability, pain-free. Give them a call and set your appointment today at 336-996-3737. Maylor Chiropractic in Kernersville.
Charlotte out of timeout. Here's Morning, the shot. Game over!
Who's going to get off? Here he comes. Here he comes. He's got him this time. It's going to be a drag race. Whoa! They touch. Craven got him. Craven got him.
By Lundquist, now Ponikarovsky with it. 2-1 in front, block there. Scramble for it there. They pump away at it. Still it's loose. Pump that by Covington. They score! Entry! It's over!
The runner at third, nobody out in the first and didn't score. Second and third, one out in the second and didn't score. Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game.
Welcome to The Score. Here's your host, Brett Wiseman.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first April edition of The Score here on Tobacco Road Sports Radio, TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. Will Higdon finally back with us. Welcome back to the program. Alex Wober joining us as well. I don't know that you're pleased that Drew Lock is your starting quarterback, or if you've just accepted it at this point.
I'm accepting of it. That's
You're
the
accepting.
best way
Okay,
to put it.
that's fair. That's fair. We're what now? 2 or 3 weeks away from the NFL draft. So, Malik Willis still on the table for you guys, or?
I'm putting that in the past. I was on the hype train, but doesn't seem like he's going to be there at 9.
Well, at least you're not the Steelers. You don't have Mitchell Trubisky. Drew Lock might be better than Mitchell Trubisky. And we're this close to making T-shirts or merchandise of the AFC North has 3 of the best quarterbacks in the league under the age of 25, and then Mitchell Trubisky.
I'd buy that T-shirt. I'd
buy it in a heartbeat. Yeah. Also, it's not on the bottom of the screen yet, but if you want to ask us a question, get in the YouTube chat, the Twitter, the Facebook, carrier pigeon through the window, whatever that owl was from Harry Potter with the flying car. Yeah. If you can make mail fly, that'd be a much more interesting way to send us questions. But hey, look, there it is. Look, it's magic. All our wonderful producer Desmond Johnson has to do is hit a button, and boom, it pops up. That was my John Madden impression for the day. All right, we're getting off track. First of all, a hearty congratulations to the St. Peter's Peacocks for a job well done. You served America well. However, you could not pull off the upset over Dez's Carolina Tar Heels. And I'm going to say this to Steve later on when he joins us live from the Big Easy for Duke UNC. If you handed a Hollywood producer the script with all the storylines that are going on with this, it's Coach K's last year. It's Carolina's first year without Roy. They were kind of muddying the water there for most of the year. They've never played each other in the NCAA tournament, let alone the Final Four, for God's sakes. I mean, come on. If you handed this script to any Hollywood producer, even Steven Spielberg would throw it out, okay? Because everything in this cacophony of madness is too good to be true.
That's all we can ask for, though.
You can't make this up. And yeah, you're right. That's all we can ask for. And I wanted to get Dez's thoughts on this because Dez is one of those Duke/Carolina people that's like, I don't know if I want to play him in the Final Four. I feel like that's going to take away from everything. The level of excitement I have heard from everybody in this area, my gentleman sitting right here, my other friend Will, who's hanging out with me today, he's going to lose his voice tomorrow night. He's already told me that. And he said his neighbors are going to deal with it. So
I came around on this at about the 10-minute mark of the first half of Carolina St. Peter's. By
that point, the game was over anyway.
It was like at that point it sunk in that it was going to happen. And I'd kind of gone into that game thinking Carolina was going to beat this team anyway. Like I was not worried about Carolina getting past St. Peter's the way Carolina's been playing the past month and some change. So it's at a point where both teams are like, we don't care what you do. As long as we do what we do, we're going to win the basketball game. And now they're going to see each other again, and they're both playing better than they really have all year. So I'm up for it. Carolina's playing with house money. Like, honestly, if someone had told me in Hubert's first year they would finish second in the ACC, they would ruin K's night of all nights or whatever at Cameron in front of 90 former Duke players, and they're sobbing co-eds in the stands, and ESPN doesn't know where to go for 30 minutes, so they're just stuck there. That was the highlight of the season for Tar Heel fans so far up to this point, was sitting there for 30 minutes in Cameron and just watching these people have nowhere to go, and then K having to apologize. Regardless of what happens tomorrow, that will not top what happened in
That's
Cameron.
a win. Regardless.
Every Duke fan knows it. So that's why all the Duke fans wanted this. They wanted a chance to get their face back. The Carolina fans were like, we're kind of playing with house money. If we beat Duke again.
You weren't expected to be here.
No, we're 8 seed. So, we're not even supposed to be here. And the fact that we are here, I said Sweet 16 was the ceiling for Carolina for this team. But that was before they had really started playing better. Now, their starting five can beat any one of these other three starting fives in this Final Four. There is no favorite to me out of these four teams. It could be any of the four. And in terms of Duke, Carolina, the state's not going to fall in a sinkhole. There's not going to be rioting at Walmart. There's not going to be, you know what I mean?
Wait a minute. Wait.
It's not going to happen.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Rioting at Walmart would probably happen with Walmart Carolina fans.
There are Walmart Duke fans. I don't know where this notion Duke merchandise.
There are Walmart Duke fans too. So if you don't know what we're talking about when we say that, there's a thing in this state when either people move here or people grow up here and have no idea what the logos are. If they see one of the big four logos in Walmart on that wall of $9.99 merchandise that the shirt will tear in about 5 minutes after you put it on, they pick that logo. Hey, I like the letters there. That looks cool. Hey, that Blue Devil looks cool. Hey, look, a wolf. Cool, I found my college team. Am I going to attend this college? No.
I think in the end, I think people were more worried about I don't know what they were worried about now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, because now that it's actually reality, it's what were we so scared of? If anything,
the worry was that oh my God, it's going to kill the rivalry. It's going to make it too national. No, it's not.
It's going to make it the complete opposite. If anything,
it's going to put it on a level it's never been on before.
Exactly. It's on a stage.
This is going to. There's going to be economic impact from this too, right? Bars on Franklin Street in Chapel Hill, in Durham, all across the state. It doesn't matter where. People are going to pack in and get together to watch this game.
It's all about opportunity.
The entire state is going to stop completely.
It's all about opportunity with these two teams, because for Carolina, if they lose, okay, fine. They're a regional champ. They went to the Final Four. If they had to lose to anybody, fine. They lost to Duke and Coastal.
You've already overachieved. If anybody's going to beat you, this is the team.
And go on to play either Kansas, Roy's old squad, or Villanova, who we owe a punch in the face anyway, then so be it. With Duke, I think Duke actually goes into this with more pressure than Carolina does, because it's still the same situation as it was in Cameron. This
exactly.
could be K's last game. Like, do you want K to go out with 2 of his last 3 losses to Carolina, including the very last one in the Final Four, to a first-year head coach in Hubert Davis, who he used to coach against as he was a player 20 years ago? Do you want that to be the narrative? Because K's going to remember that for the rest of his life. If K can win the national championship, he'll remember that for the rest of his life. But Carolina fans are going to remember that they retired him. Like, it's like the Shawn Michaels Ric Flair retirement match at WrestleMania, and he's Ric Flair, and we're about to kick him in the face. Like, that's literally. Speaking
of which, WrestleMania is on the same night as this game, so very poor scheduling by Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I don't know what Vince was thinking, because he's from here, from North Carolina.
Yeah,
and for him to put this 2-night event of WrestleMania during the Final Four, it's like, you should have just no, this shouldn't have happened. And now I got to sit here and figure out how to do this, because I'm going to have to watch WrestleMania late on Saturday, and then avoid spoilers, because I watch all that stuff too. So yeah, it's a loaded weekend. I'm stressed out. It's
one thing I want to touch on about this whole thing, because I'm nor a Carolina or a Duke fan, even though I grew up in North Carolina. A buddy of mine he's a diehard Duke fan. He has been a professional reverse psychologist this week, because every time I bring up the game, he just talks about, oh my God, we're going to lose. Like, and I
yes, the reverse jinx. The reverse jinx.
Exactly.
You know what? It ain't reverse jinx at all. All the Duke fans deep down, they know this Carolina team matches up. This was the worst matchup for Duke. Like, honestly, I couldn't figure out why Duke fans wanted this matchup, because Carolina exposed all the weaknesses this particular Duke squad has. Yep. And Carolina has given zero indication they're going to play any differently than they've played the past month. So I would have, if I was a Duke fan, I would have rather played anybody else. If I was a Carolina fan, I'm looking at Duke as an opportunity. Like,
absolutely,
there's nothing to lose on our end, but there's everything to lose on the Duke side. So I think Duke comes out.
I think if Arkansas got past Duke, North Carolina would match up worse with Arkansas. Personally,
it would have. Yeah, because
100%
Arkansas can actually give you pressure for the whole game, and they have depth. Carolina hasn't ran into a team that's exposed their lack of depth yet, or their size.
Right.
I thought it was going to be Kentucky when I first saw the brackets. Then I thought it was going to be Baylor, and luckily Baylor didn't have their starting center, and they were missing their leading scorer, so they lucked out there. UCLA came hobbling in. They haven't seen a team with Duke's size yet in this bracket or this tournament, and they already know they can beat Duke, because Duke, they can play inside, but they don't like to, and they're not a good shooting team. So try to get by on athleticism and just sheer talent, and you can't do that against this Carolina team anymore. They're playing, I think they're only allowing like 65 points a game in the tournament, and they've played a 1 seed and a team that was in the Final Four last year with the exact same roster. So it's not like they had a cupcake walk to get here.
Yeah.
I just expect Duke to be really tight and Carolina to come out loose, and we'll roll the ball. Like Kay said, we'll roll the ball out and see what the hell happens.
And one more thing, Brett, if you don't mind. One thing I think that is so interesting and just so fun for people who have ever lived in North Carolina or in one of the Carolinas like ourselves is that this is it. This is North Carolina, South Carolina sports moment right here that Duke and Carolina, or just any Carolina sports fans, live for. And I think people that live in outside states, they know that, oh, this is a huge game, but they don't know what it's like to live in these states and live around these fans and know how the community reacts to when these two teams play against each other. And I can't wait. Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch WrestleMania, but this is going to be it's going to make my night. It's going to make my night, and it should make every sports fan's night when this game comes on.
Let me ask this real quick to the panel. Kentucky, Louisville met in the Final Four, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago? Was the buzz anywhere remotely close?
Not even close.
Nope. That's your answer as to what the greatest rivalry is in sports, because this has been all over the top leads for news.
Remember all the hype around the Yankees and Red Sox playing each other in a one-game playoff?
Nah.
It's it's the same concept. Duke and North Carolina see each other all the time. You've got the biggest rivals in the sport playing on arguably, if not the sport's biggest stage.
Plus, those other rivalries, Yankees, Red Sox, Auburn, Alabama, Lakers, Celtics, any of the ones you want to throw out there that are a rivalry to compare with this, the thing that separates this from all of those, usually one of those teams dominates the other. The Yankees dominate
it's even
overall. The Lakers dominate the Celtics overall. I'm talking about like in championships.
Yeah.
Like just like over, like the Lakers are behind the Celtics in terms of head-to-head matchups. Same with Alabama over Auburn. Like, there's a big brother, little brother dynamic in all of those rivalries except for this one. This one's, it's literally the past 100 or the past 99 games. Duke has won 50 of them and Carolina's won 49 of them, and they're separated by like 8 points. It doesn't get any closer than that. You know what I mean? Like, there is no rivalry like this at all, anywhere, period, bar none. And people are lucky they're going to get to see this on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. And before we get Will's thoughts on this, there's a betting note I want to get to that Christian Emery let us know about. Interesting tidbit from Vegas. The total number of bets placed on UNC Duke only favors UNC by 4 total bets. That was as of 2:15 yesterday, meaning all the bets placed on the game only have 4 more people that have bet on UNC to win than have bet on Duke. So it's leaning towards more people are betting on UNC to win than Duke to win. Which
did you hear about the
Duke's -4? So we're talking about Carolina +4 if people are taking the points too. So
did you ever? I know this. I guess it's sort of late news. I don't know if any of you guys heard about it, but the last week's game against St. Peter's in North Carolina, because you brought up betting and this sparked the light bulb in my head. So if you bet on St. Peter's to win like 2 or 3 games or win the region, whatever, if you lived in New Jersey, you could not place any bets on
because St. Peter's is from New Jersey.
Correct. So if you would have picked Carolina to win the region, let's say if St. Peter's had won against Carolina and you picked Carolina, you had already won money if you had lived in the state of New Jersey.
You had money before the game even tips off.
Exactly. I think
you could have cashed it. Yeah. Welcome to New Jersey. Will, your thoughts on this whole the Final Four of all Final Fours? Will, can you hear us?
The more excited I end up getting for this game tomorrow, and it's hello.
Yeah, we got you now.
We may have lost Will. He might need to refresh.
Yeah, we might have lost Will on that one. But while we have a moment, this the Kansas-Villanova matchup too, I think, and as you put it on there, the Final Four of all Final Fours. There hasn't been a Final Four with this many storylines in one game as opposed to where the other one just gets forgotten about. But Kansas-Villanova this Final Four is all blue bloods. This Final Four is all teams that have been competitive for years and years and years that have never dropped off. So one of the biggest things for me is there's a lot of historic coaches in here too. And you have 3 absolutely historic coaches. And then you have Hubert Davis. If anything, I think Hubert's biggest obstacle here is getting over the established guard. Right? He's in his first year. Kay's in his last year of, 42. Bill Self's in his 20th some odd year there. Jay Wright's been there for 15, 20 years at Villanova. He's going up against 3 of the best coaches in college basketball consistently over the past 15, 20 years. If not for Carolina and the guys on the floor, Hubert Davis has something to prove that he can be that kind of coach. Right? Am I wrong here?
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And I think this is another thing I would love to hear, Dez's perspective as a Carolina Tar Heel fan. Carolina beats Duke let's say, and they go to the championship, I mean, what's the best result against Kansas, the former team of Roy, or to get that revenge on Villanova?
You're asking who would Carolina rather face?
But yeah, as a Carolina fan, who would you rather see Carolina face in the finals?
If they beat Duke.
Correct.
Villanova, just because they're running with like 5 kids right now. I know they lost what's the guy's name? They lost him right at the very end of the Elite Eight game. He's out for the weekend.
He tore his Achilles, didn't he? Yeah.
I think so, yeah. And they were already shorthanded anyway, so they would match up better with Carolina lack of depth. And, of course, there's 2016. Jay Wright's in his 3rd Final Four in the past 6 years. There was a pandemic in the middle of all of it. And the thing that set it all off was the Chris Jenkins shot against Carolina in 2016 to win the national championship. And Hubert was on that staff. Hubert was the assistant coach on that staff, So none of these kids were in that game because that was 6 years ago. But I think Carolina fans would like to see a rematch of Carolina-Villanova. I don't think anybody wants to see Kansas because Kansas feels like that one team that can literally – I said there wasn't a favorite out of the 4, but Kansas is the one I think Carolina and Duke don't want to see on Monday. Because they're deep, they're experienced, they're older. They're one of the older teams in the tournament. They got a lot of seniors starting, and they've been underneath the radar the entire time. So I would rather see Villanova as a Carolina fan. If it's Kansas, it's whatever. Like I said, we're playing with house money. We'll play whoever shows up, but I'd rather see Villanova than Kansas as a Carolina fan, and I think Duke would say the same thing.
And for me too, sorry to cut you off, but
there you go.
Like seeing Carolina versus Villanova or a Carolina-Kansas final, to me, is just way more interesting than seeing Duke play either of those two teams because of the history and because of the redemption sort of storyline there. So that's what interests me. So, I would like to see Carolina-Villanova just to see them get another crack at them.
And for Kansas, before we get in the break here, for Kansas – to be thought of as the least of the 1 seeds, to be the only one left standing, I think it's more of a testament to Bill Self's coaching, I think, than it is anything else. All right, let's get in the break here. When we come back, the Hornets are hot, boys. We'll talk about it right after this.
You are listening to The Score with Brett Wiseman on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. TRSR Triad Hot Deals. The top deals on sports tickets, dining, and fun in the Triad. Visit TRSRTriadHotDeals.com right now and sign up to get the best area deals in the Triad every week. Powered by Tobacco Road Sports Radio and SportsCarolinaMonthly.com. This month, save big on Carolina Cobras season tickets. Go to 7 home games this season for only $45. That's an $80 value. Buy your 2022 season ticket package now with this exclusive deal from Triad Hot Deals. Visit TRSRTriadHotDeals.com. Visit the sports tab and secure your package. Limited number available. That's TRSRTriadHotDeals.com.
The wait is over. Simply Sonia's Southern Cuisine and Cocktails is now open. 3050 University Parkway inside the Best Western Plus Hotel. Open 7 days a week starting at 11 a.m. daily. Freshly made Southern cuisine with signature cocktails and lunch specials daily. The location for your next event with Simply Sonia's catering specials. Open now. Simply Sonia's Southern Cuisine and Cocktails. 3050 University Parkway inside the Best Western Plus Hotel in Winston-Salem.
Find your next car at Auto Store of North Carolina in Walkertown. Their goal is to make car shopping and car buying experience fast, friendly, and easy. They have helped hundreds of customers get behind the wheel of a newer, reliable, quality used car, and they can help you too. Stop by and speak with one of their sales professionals today and drive away with your new car. The Auto Store of North Carolina, 4964 Reedsville Road in Walkertown. Give them a call at 336-595-8550 and view the current inventory of vehicles at autostoreofnc.com.
Blue Naples Pizzeria in Kernersville is now hiring. Come work for one of the best Italian restaurants in the Triad. Currently hiring dishwashers, cooks, front cashiers, and more. Great hours, great pay. Give them a call at 336-993-7707 or stop by and inquire at 1519 Union Cross Road in Kernersville. Start working this week. Blue Naples Pizza.
Beamer Tire and Auto Repair, now with 3 locations across the Triad in High Point, Greensboro, and our new location in Kernersville. Beamer Tire and Auto offers full-service auto repair, all tire brands, free alignment checks, oil changes, and more. In Kernersville, check out the no appointment needed Quick Lube shop. Check out their thousands of 5-star ratings via Google and Yelp. They care because they know that you can go anywhere. So try a shop with a beating heart, not a bottom line. Beamer Tire and Auto Repair. Visit us on Facebook or at beamertire.com.
This is Donald Ware, host of Box to Row, jam-packed on the show, talking NBA with Mike Wallace of Grind City Media, talking Final Four, and talking with former Alabama A&M quarterback Aquill Glass, right here on Box to Row.
From press box to press row with Donald Ware, Saturdays at 9 a.m. on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. You are locked into Tobacco Road Sports Radio's TGIF lineup.
Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
I ain't set this up. I ain't know nothing about this. This is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Damn it.
Hey. You're welcome. TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. Welcome back to The Score with Brett Wiseman here on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
Back here on The Score with Brett Wiseman on Tobacco Road Sports Radio, TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. Brett Wiseman alongside our producer Desmond Johnson, Will Higdon, and Alex Wober. Alex, I don't know who your sources are, but you are telling us that a DK Metcalf deal is imminent. There's a couple pieces of breaking news we got to get. There's semi-breaking news, but that's the first one. What's the deal? We talking about contract extension, trade?
We're talking contract extension, so I can finally put your DK Metcalf trade rumors to rest. Hopefully, it's not finished yet.
I don't know. They were nothing more than rumors or false hope. I don't know.
I'm tired of hearing them. That's the bottom line. They're said to be working on a 3-year, $69 million contract extension.
Nice.
Both sides are working hard to reach the climax they're hoping for this offseason. So we'll
Wait a minute. Nope, I'm not going to say it. We are on the internet, but I see what you did there with the wording after the amount of money. All right. Enough being immature. Anyways, the other piece of news here is the World Cup draw happened. In case you missed it, the U.S. is back in the World Cup. Thank God. This time they didn't screw it up. So they've been drawn to Group B against old rival England, Iran, and what's listed as a Euro playoff. So I don't know if that's like a play-in between two of the Euros, or I don't know. U.S. and England are in the same group. Okay, it's Group B. Okay, moving on. The Hornets, they're hot. They're sizzling. They're buzzing.
It's about
time.
Got
to win against the Knicks the other night. Yeah, it is about time. We haven't talked about them on here in a minute, but it's like every other Hornet season, been, kind of up and down, roller coastery, but lately, they had the 5-game win streak a little bit ago, and then you get 2 massive wins. You spoil Kyrie's first home game of the year. His first home game with full capacity, too, by the way. And then you go to the other end of the state, or the other end of the city, I should say, and beat a Knicks team that you should beat, naturally. But intermixed in there is a concerning game against Denver. And This is where the questions get raised. All right, you can beat the Nets because you have to for standings purposes. You can beat the Knicks because they're the Knicks. They're terrible. Can you beat Denver? Can you beat Cleveland, Miami, Milwaukee? We've seen Philadelphia. We've seen flashes against these teams this year. Boston. Teams like that. Teams that are ahead of you in the standings. If you don't want to be in the play-in, it doesn't matter if it's a team in the East or the West. If one of those top-tier teams is on your schedule, pretty much from here on out, you got to win these games.
Oh, absolutely. Like, pretty much, because the Hornets, They had that awful stretch just a couple months ago where it seemed like they couldn't buy a bucket. So now they put themselves.
They could not hit water if they fell out of a boat standing on the beach. So.
Oh yeah. So now they're in this really situation where it seems like every game for them is a must-win situation, and like you said, it doesn't matter who their opponent is. They got to show up from here on out. There's no excuses. They have to show up and play good basketball. Otherwise, they're going to find themselves out of it.
And to add on to that, they've got a pretty difficult March as well. I mean, you've got the 76ers to start off the month. That's on the road. You've got
at Miami as well, at Chicago.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, Chicago.
That Sixers game tomorrow night. I mean, these are not easy games. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games left. 3 of the 5 are against teams either in the playoff or the play-in. And all 3 of those games against those teams are on the road. The only 2 home games they have left are Orlando on the 7th and the finale against Washington on April the 10th. Remember, we're coming down the stretch here in the NBA regular season. There was no planned Olympic break like there was in the NHL. We still got a whole month of hockey left before we start talking about the playoffs. We got 5 games left in the NBA regular season, all right? We got like 2.5 weeks before we're talking about playoff basketball. And you're the Charlotte Hornets and you're sitting 9th. You, have to jump the Nets. Good thing you have the tiebreaker now, thanks to last Sunday night. But at Philly tomorrow night, that's how you start the final month, the final stretch. You go at Miami Tuesday night. And then Thursday, you host Orlando. The bad news is you got a back-to-back, and the back end of the back-to-back is the game at Chicago. So it's put up or shut up time. And we've seen the put up against Brooklyn and the Knicks, and we've seen the shut up down the stretch against Denver. So there can be no repeat of the faltering down the stretch of the Denver game. There can be no slow start in these 3 of these last 5. The Orlando and Washington games you should win, period. Those should be already marked as W's on that calendar. There's got to be big purple and teal circles around those other 3 road games. Are you going to go in and beat Philly? You did that earlier in the year, yeah. But it's a completely different Sixers team than was seen in January. Okay, it's the best team in the Eastern Conference now because of one single trade, and that trade is working to perfection. And it's not just James Harden. It's everybody else that's playing around him. I don't know what happened, but when James Harden came in, he made everyone else on that roster immediately better. That's just the impact he has, number one. But number 2, I think everybody in that locker room felt like, okay, we got Embiid help. That's not flaky. Okay, we got Embiid, like, consistent help. Like, we have 2 consistent scorers now. Like, we can feed off of that.
Oh, yeah.
A completely different Philadelphia team than you saw in January. So this is a much tougher test.
Did you see Doc throw Harden under the bus this morning, though?
I did not.
That's true.
You did not see that?
I didn't see that.
In the post game last night, they lost, and Doc was asked a question about the second half, and he basically said that about their bench, and he said basically it wasn't the bench's fault that they didn't get a chance to shoot, that it was mainly James Harden, and he kind of just left it floating out there, and everyone's kind of taking it like, why did he say that? There was no reason to say it that way. He basically blamed James Harden for taking too many shots, and he did it in the media, like in front of everybody. So not sure how that's going in the 76ers locker room right now. It just feels like this kind of stuff follows James Harden everywhere he goes, which is why I'm not a big James Harden fan. Dude, you got to stop bouncing around and just, show us something in May. Show us something in June. Not like I'm so tired of James Harden and all this stuff that's around him that happens no matter where he's at. I liked the 76ers 2 weeks ago. I'm not really sure if I can trust him now going forward.
If this team collapses in the playoffs, right? Let's say, first round exit. What do you do? What do you do then? Because it's been these past years. Trust the process. Well, the process is running out.
The process has run out. We're past the process. Okay, or we're on to
really only got them Embiid. That was really
we're on to a new process. If anything else, we're on to a new
process now.
Veteran laden process
and to win more.
Here's my biggest thing. Apparently, James Harden told Kevin Durant last summer when they were on a boat together that he was going to sign an extension with the Nets. That was obviously a lie. So, yeah, like you said, Alex, my bigger question is, okay, can you trust James Harden, even though he's already signed this extension with this signing bonus the second he got traded to Philadelphia? Can you trust that that's going to stay, on the table in his head, or that, like the other two places he's been recently, he's going to get flaky and want out?
He's running out of places to go, isn't he? I mean, where else can
You'd
he
think.
go? I mean, the reason he's in Philly because Morey's the GM there, and they have a good relationship from when he was in Houston. But if he leaves here, there's no reason for anyone to take him. He'll get to Russell Westbrook value level if he leaves here again, in my opinion, because there's no better place for him to be.
The other thing I want to talk about here in a second is the Lakers. And Fred and I were talking about this today. Russell Westbrook seems to have, like you mentioned it, Russell Westbrook seems to have made an impact on this team in the most negative way possible. Period. The way this team plays, the way this team acts, the way this team performs at certain times of the game, Russell Westbrook has made an impact on this team in the exact opposite way than was desired.
They're too old. Like, it's not that they're too old. It's like they have too many old players. And then
Correct.
they have young players.
And Anthony
like,
Davis can't stay healthy.
Growing. Yeah, like guys like Malik Monk, like they're not getting any better because guys like Carmelo Anthony and LeBron are on the team. Honestly, I don't even know if you can blame Westbrook for a lot of this. A lot of this is just Anthony Davis hasn't been there. Like, if Anthony Davis is there, they've won 40-plus games probably at this point. So I don't know how much you can really blame on Russ.
I'm with you. I'm honestly, this has been like, I'm not even looking at the bubble championship. Ever since LeBron has gotten to the Lakers, it's been sour attitude. And it feels like he wants to. Everything's not enough, no matter what he's given. Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook. It just seems that something is not working. I don't know if it's the coaching staff. I don't know if it's Rob Pelinka. I don't know what it is, but it's something there is just not clicking. I'm not saying he's going to leave LA, but whatever that they have going on down there, they got to fix it. They got to get it straight.
He would have been better off, the Lakers would have been better off not trading off all the assets for Anthony Davis, to be honest, because like LeBron can adapt to any kind of player. That's the whole thing on him, that he can play with anybody, right? So why is it he's got this phobia about playing with young players? Every place he's gone from Miami onward, they clear out all the young players. They bring in all these old dudes. And this is why I can't consider LeBron the GOAT, because LeBron can't create his own shot. LeBron plays ISO. He stands out at the top of the key. He dribbles for 10 seconds. Then he puts his head down and he drives, or he settles for a three. That's it. That's the whole bag. And like, you can't build a team around that. So now they're stuck with no first round picks, old players. Russell Westbrook is due $47 million next year.
Oof.
Like, they can't get rid of him. You know what I mean? Like, what are they supposed to do?
Well,
they're going to be in salary cap hell come summertime. So
yeah. Well, what's going to happen is, and I'm sure everybody in here has probably seen the story of LeBron wanting to play with his son. He's going to probably just end up leaving LA in the worst possible position. They're going to be terrible, and all the so-called stars, AD, Russell, they'll probably all leave too, because that's LeBron's plan. All he does is want to play with Bronny. He doesn't care where he's at. He could care less if he's in Oklahoma City. If he gets to play with Bronny, he's going to leave the Lakers.
Bron's not
what if Bronny goes to the G League?
Bronny's not even good enough.
What does LeBron do then?
He's not good enough to do that. That's the thing I don't understand the most. Like, dude, you play basketball. You should look at your son and understand, if he makes the NBA, it's because his last name is James and you're his dad.
Absolutely.
Like, not because you're good. Like, he's not.
He's not that good.
He's 6'2" or something like that. He's a junior in high school. I've heard the younger one, Bryce, is actually going to be the one that's really good.
Bronny is just this scrawny little 6'2" little, like,
shooting guard.
Michael Jordan kids weren't good at ball either. Like, it's not.
It's okay.
It's not like a automatic thing that they're gonna pass down these genes or whatever. Like,
only one of Shaq's kids is good.
Yeah.
The other one's down as his third transfer attempt. So,
I mean, I don't know. It's just weird to me.
But that's the thing with LeBron, though, is that even if Bronny is a G League player, he's going to get drafted just for the sake of LeBron saying, "Oh, whoever drafts him,
I'm going to play with
your team."
Exactly.
It's a 2-for-1.
But he'll be 42, 43. Like, do you want to play with a 43-year-old LeBron? I know he's doing stuff now we've never seen before, but Father Time is undefeated. I don't care if you're Tom Brady, LeBron James, whoever. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you. So, like, you can't plan your whole team's outlook on bringing in a 42-year-old LeBron James and his son in 3 years, right? Like, that sounds crazy to me. Like, why would you? How do you even do this? Like, none of it's guaranteed.
It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me.
That makes sense
and
to me.
It's mostly just like a move that screams win now.
Yep.
100%.
Because then Bronny's the most coveted draft prospect probably of all time, right? Because you get his dad with him.
Oh, he's
See,
going to be overly.
saying that. I think he just said that in jest. Like, I don't think he honestly believes he'll get a chance to play with Bronny in the NBA. It was the All-Star weekend. He said a lot of stuff. He walked it back like 3 days later. Like, I don't think
he's going to do it?
No. In fact, I think he might retire after this contract's over with, to be honest with you.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think he's trying to get to 40. He gets to 40, and then he's going to stop. Or let me change that. He's trying to get to Kareem's record. He breaks Kareem's scoring record. After that, I think he can retire at any time. Because in his mind, he breaks Kareem's record, he's the GOAT. That doesn't mean it's true.
He already thinks he's the GOAT because he beat the Warriors.
Right, yeah. That's what I knew I was the greatest. No.
Almost single-handedly.
Yeah, he's just going to retire, and he's just going to be a full-time host of The Shop on HBO. That's really his plan right now.
I love that
Dude, it's a fantastic show. It's so cool.
Great. Yeah, it's great.
Speaking of the Warriors.
He's good.
Speaking of the Warriors, Steph Curry is going to miss the rest of the regular season. That just dropped. Sprained ligament in his foot. So, big loss there for Golden State. Very quickly, we got to take a look at the standings here and see what we're dealing with. There's teams that are starting to clinch playoff spots again with just the 4 or 5 games remaining here in the regular season. When we look at things, again, Charlotte's in 9th. They are tied record-wise with Brooklyn and Atlanta. For some reason, Brooklyn's still in 8th, although Charlotte has the tiebreaker. I don't understand why ESPN has it listed that way, but Charlotte should be 8th because they have the tiebreaker over Brooklyn. And then 2 games ahead of the other 3 is Cleveland at 42 and 35. Brooklyn, Charlotte, and Atlanta, all 3 are at 40 and 37. The Knicks are too far out of it in 11th to get back into this. Toronto's hanging on to 6th. They're just 2.5 games ahead of Cleveland for that. You got to play Miami if you're Charlotte. That's the top seed in the East right now. They have clinched a berth. I don't know for sure if they've clinched the number 1 seed yet, but they have clinched the Southeast Division. So Milwaukee and Boston have clinched berths. So you got to play the best team in the East, and then 4 and 5. The only 2 teams who haven't clinched. So you're playing teams that are trying to nail down that playoff spot. And this is the first time I can honestly say that Western Conference has been weak, probably in my lifetime. That the Western Conference is weaker than the Eastern Conference. You want to know the last time a Western Conference team under 500 made the playoffs? 1999. Jason Kidd, blonde Dirk Nowitzki, Michael Finley, Steve Nash, and the infancy Mavericks made it at 8 games under 500 as an 8 seed and were quickly disposed of. I can't remember who the top seed was that year, but it was the Y2K hair Mavericks. If you ever go back and look at those pictures, it's nuts. Like Dirk looks like he just walked out of a Rammstein music video. Steve Nash looks like he just
in sync.
He's like a boy band.
Yeah, no, exactly. He's like a boy band. He just looks like he walked out of a German boy band music video. Like he bleach blonded his hair. Steve Nash looks like he just walked off a surfboard. Jason Kidd is already bald, not by choice.
Those were the great times when people wore very oversized suits.
And they wore oversized baggy shorts on the court too. Love those. Those were cool. Those Mavericks uniforms were awesome. Also, they played a terrible arena. They had to play the Spurs a bunch of times too, and when the Spurs were, they actually won the title that year. Anyways, Western Conference, because we got to get in a break here at some point while I'm rambling. Phoenix, they're in. They've clinched. I believe they've clinched the number 1 seed.
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken. They've clinched the best record in the NBA at this point as well. Again, not enough people are talking about the Memphis Grizzlies. That's the 2 seed. All right, start talking about them. They're good. They're legit. I'm not saying they're a championship contender yet, but they are the 2 seed. So if you're not talking about them, if you're not paying attention, please do, because Memphis is legit. Dallas behind them at 3. Then you got Golden State, Utah, Denver, 4, 5, 6. Minnesota, Clippers, New Orleans, and San Antonio are in the play-in. Right now, San Antonio and the Lakers have an identical record. San Antonio, though, has the tiebreaker. There's a lot of important games between the latter 3 of those teams, between San Antonio, New Orleans, and the Lakers, where they'll play each other over this final stretch of the season. So that 10th spot in the play-in will probably be decided by head-to-head. But we're not getting a Warriors-Lakers play-in like we did last year. So, sorry. New Orleans, I think, is probably actively trying to pull Zion out of the shrimp po' boy hole he's probably still stuck in. He's showing up to the Final Four this weekend, for God's sake. I mean, come on. Anyways, we got to get in a break here. When we come back, Major League Baseball. Oh, wait, Des, you got something to say?
I was going to say Duke is practicing with the Pelicans. They're practicing at the Pelicans facility. I saw it earlier today.
Of course they are.
Yeah. I mean,
now Zion comes out of hiding.
Half the roster's Duke guys, so I mean,
Brandon Ingram. Yeah.
Who else is on that team from Duke? Well, JJ Redick was on it last year. Zion. Yeah. One of the guards is from Duke. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Tyus Jones?
No, it's not Gary Trent. It's one of those dudes that was like came in as a 5-star, kind of underperformed at Duke. Left.
One of the 18 point guards Duke has churned out over the past 20 years that we've basically forgotten.
Is it Frank Jackson? It might be Frank Jackson. He was on the roster last year, I think. You remember him? He was at Duke for like
no, you don't. Anyways, we got to get in a break here. Major League Baseball opening day is 6 days away.
You are listening to The Score with Brett Wiseman on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. Area softball stars. Register for the Diamond Stars Softball Transfer Portal Showcase June 14th and 15th at Bob Lewis Park in Asheville, North Carolina. This showcase is for any player currently in the transfer portal or any JUCO player. Get the opportunity to showcase your skills in front of college coaches from all levels. Over the 2-day event, players participate in evaluations such as softball skills and metrics by College Sports Evaluations, drill and team practice participation, and playing in 3 games. For more information, visit DiamondStarEvents.net or email Coach Ben McKinney at bmckinney@DiamondStarEvents.net.
Maylor Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture, located at 205 North Cherry Street in Kernersville, is your family chiropractor. Dr. Maylor's goal is to treat and correct the underlying cause of patient symptoms, to alleviate pain, and to restore balance. Maylor Chiropractic treats pain, sports injuries, injuries from auto accidents, and much more. Start performing to the best of your ability, pain-free. Give them a call and set your appointment today at 336-996-3737. Maylor Chiropractic in Kernersville.
This is Coach Rez, head coach of your Carolina Cobras Arena football team, the 2018 National Arena League champions. Join us for our 4th year in the Snake Pit at the Greensboro Coliseum. Be a part of the Carolina Cobras tailgating group before every home game starting April 30th. Season tickets are now on sale for as low as 2 for $128. You can reach the ticket office at 336-455-7232 or at carolinacobras.com. Fear the Fang.
Ideacom NC, a trusted telecommunications company with 60 years of experience in unified communications. Ideacom is about more than just phone systems. They provide a full range of communication solutions. Whether your business is big or small, from churches to schools to fire departments, depend on the best in cabling, phone systems, IT support, and more from Ideacom for Central North Carolina. Top-rated customer service that cares about your business needs. Check out all the host of solutions at IdeacomNC.com or call at 336-854-4455. Ideacom NC. Blue Naples Pizzeria in Kernersville is now hiring. Come work for one of the best Italian restaurants in the Triad. Currently hiring dishwashers, cooks, front cashiers, and more. Great hours, great pay. Give them a call at 336-993-7707 or stop by and inquire at 1519 Union Cross Road in Kernersville. Start working this week. Blue Naples Pizza. Welcome back to The Score with Brett Wiseman here on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
Welcome back to The Score with Brett Wiseman here at Tobacco Road Sports Radio, TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. Brett Wiseman joined by our producer Desmond Johnson and our good friend Will Higdon. First of all, before we get into the rest of baseball, I want to say how happy I am to have this gentleman back home where he belongs in a St. Louis Cardinals uniform. That would be Albert Pujols, reuniting with Yachty and Waino for a last dance, as you can see on the calendar behind me. There was ever a baseball version of the Last Dance documentary, this is it. And before we get into the rest of baseball, I want to say Albert Pujols is my childhood hero. I wore number 5 in everything I played growing up. I mimicked his batting stance in Little League. I still do when I play wiffle ball. As evidenced by today. Me and my other friend Will, the other Will, went and played wiffle ball earlier today. I mimicked Albert's batting stance. It just happens by nature now. Instinct. Yeah, good point. The guy is the biggest reason, other than my family, why I love baseball. The way he plays, the way he loves the game, and he talked about that when he got to Jupiter for Cardinals camp. But the biggest criticism from a lot of people has been, okay, he's old, you're only bringing him back for the nostalgia aspect. Albert Pujols hit .296 off of left-handed pitching last year with 13 homers and 37 RBIs and slugged .920. The Cardinals have him to play DH against lefties. Ollie Marmol the Cardinals manager likes platoon options. They go get Corey Dickerson, veteran left-handed bat, to face righties as a DH, and then they go get Albert. The other thing is, Albert, A, he's reunited with these guys. B, as soon as he got to camp the other day, there were 15 young guys flocking around him asking him questions.
Hey, before you go any further, Brett, there's some breaking news that's actually from here in the area. It's from Kenny Beck over at WXII. Just in, former United States women's national team goalie Hope Solo arrested Thursday on Parkway Village Circle in Winston-Salem and charged with impaired driving, DWI, resisting arrest, and misdemeanor child abuse. Police say she had her 2 children in the vehicle with her at the time of this offense.
What?
I'll get some more info as it's coming in, but apparently Hope Solo was arrested in Winston-Salem about an hour ago on Parkway Village Circle, given a DWI, and had 2 small children in the car with her. So
first of all, what is Hope Solo doing in Winston-Salem?
I think her and her husband built a farmhouse or something like in Davidson County, something like that, if I remember. Like when she retired or whatever.
It would likely be Davie. I would put money on it being Davie County.
I think it was like family land or something. They got a farmhouse or something, and they were building that. So
number 2, what's she doing at Parkway Village Circle?
That part I don't know. That part I'm not sure what she was doing over there, but I'm trying to remember where that is. Parkway Village Circle.
That's Peters Creek, isn't it?
Is that where?
Is that giant strip mall over there?
Yeah, the corner of Peters Creek and Silas Creek.
Yeah, that's where the 2 intersect. Yeah.
Used to have the huge Chinese buffet in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I think I'm right.
I'm not sure, but yeah,
right down the road from where that.
Yeah, in there, I'm like, ooh, you might want to break this while you're on here live. So
yeah.
Sorry.
Well, we're not talking about anything else, more vitally important. Anyways, Will, you've likely been watching some of Braves camp. I have not, since that's the area team here. What are some of the things that you've seen from Braves camp so far? Big storylines, things that stand out to you.
I think one of the things to look out for the Braves is can they match some of the success they had last year, and not so much winning the World Series, but just having another successful season, even with some of the losses they had in the offseason with some of the notable players they had from that World Series run.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And yeah, that's the biggest question. The other question is, how does Matt Olson fit into this puzzle? And a lot of the Braves fan base has been critical of the move to trade for Matt Olson. especially after Freddie Freeman's comments that, he was sort of blindsided by the whole thing. If both parties didn't know where he was going, why was the move made? I don't think either side gave up on the other. You got a pretty darn good consolation prize for not that hefty a price.
Yeah.
You get an MVP caliber first baseman for, one of your better outfield prospects. Well, what was he going to be for you for the next 2 or 3 years? The fourth or fifth outfielder, if that. If anything, he's be coming off the bench, maybe platooning at DH from time to time. But where was he going to fit into the actual consistency of the lineup? He's going to get much more consistent at bats in Oakland. That's better for him. Get him for him and a couple of prospects, and then a bag of peanuts. Matt Olson's a legitimate MVP caliber first baseman. He has been in Oakland. This is what Oakland likes to do, and they're actively shopping their 2 best pitchers right now. If they can find a deal for him, they'll deal him in May if they want to. Frankie Montas and Sean Manaea. Oakland will build these guys. They'll build a core of players, eke into the playoffs a couple of times with the Moneyball kind of mindset, and then they'll sell all those guys off and do it again. They built a core with Matt Chapman, who's now with the Blue Jays, Olson, the 2 pitchers I just mentioned, Tony Kemp, Stephen Piscotty. They're now selling all these guys off for next to nothing. It's what Oakland does. And it's sad, but it's just what Oakland does. Of course, we know the kind of impact Matt Olson can make, Will, but as far as the rest of the team is concerned, losses versus gains in the offseason, there's no Jock Peterson, there's no Jorge Soler. Jorge Soler is still in your division, but my biggest question to you is addition versus subtraction. Does this team still sit in a position as we sit 6 days from opening day to where they can make another run?
It's really tough to say. It's really early on right now. The loss of Soler was pretty big for them, but I think I don't know. I think there's definitely enough talent on the roster to go deep into the playoffs again. But as far as going to the World Series, I just don't know. I just don't know yet. It's just too early to tell.
And remember, you do have an expanded postseason to go off of, so that's certainly something to keep in mind here. Whether you can make a run or not, dependent upon where you finished a regular season at. Opening day, again, it's 6 days away, April the 7th. If you want a way to make some money out there, aside from normal betting, MLB is running what's called the Opening Day Pick'em. Got a chance to win $100K if you can correctly predict the winner of every single opening day game, which will take you through the matchups. Naturally, Yankees-Red Sox is going to be on opening day. Pirates-Cardinals, Albert Pujols is back in St. Louis. That guy, with those 2 guys as the battery for that game. It says TBD. Oliver Marmol has no choice but to start the 3 of them, even if a right-hander is on the mound. For Pittsburgh. You got Brewers Cubs from beautiful Wrigley Field, which on April 7th will likely not be beautiful. It'll be about 35 and rainy, and the wind will be blowing out, which means any pop fly will blow into the beer basket in right center field. Mets Nats, that should be fun. DeGrom versus whoever the Nats have. I don't even know who they have anymore. They traded 95% of their roster. Same thing with the Cubs. I don't know who they have anymore either. You have the debut of the Cleveland Guardians. So that's fun. Shane Bieber will be on the mound for them. Zach Greinke becomes the first player ever to start an opening day for the same team in 2 different decades. He started opening day for Kansas City last back in 2011. He returns to Kansas City as the veteran that he is, and he'll start opening day at Kauffman Stadium on April the 7th for those same Kansas City Royals. Alex Wober's Seattle Mariners, they're on the road at the Twins. Again, more bad weather. Last year on opening day, we saw Miguel Cabrera hit a home run in a blizzard, so fun things can happen. Reds Braves, that from Truist Park. I don't know, Will, if you know what the plan is for championship celebration things. I'll ask you that in just a second before I name the last two. Most of those are day games. And then Reds Braves is the night cap as far as the East Coast is concerned. And you got Astros, Angels, Ohtani on the mound for the Angels. Also, of note, Padres D-backs at closing out the night. One thing to note before I ask you this question. There's a couple of rule changes that have been put in place. Number one, there's now an Ohtani rule. If a pitcher is removed from the game, he can re-enter as the designated hitter in 2022. The bad news is the ghost runner is back for extra innings. Thirdly, announced today, MLB umpires will be mic'd throughout the game. Finally, so we can understand what in the heck is going on and why they're in that hole for 15 minutes just to figure out that the guy was half a step behind the throw. They will be mic'd just as NFL referees are, so they can explain to us what on God's green earth is going on half the time, because we don't know. And NHL refs are mic'd. You can hear the NBA refs. The only people who weren't were MLB umpires. Finally, that has been rectified. Okay. Will, before we get to the break, do you know what the plans are exactly? I know it's a night game for a reason because of, ring or banner ceremonies and whatnot. What do the Braves have planned for Thursday night?
I can't say that I do. That I haven't been keeping up with the whole celebration part of it. I think they definitely have something planned, at least as far as that goes. I just don't know exactly what they would have planned.
You would think banner, and I don't know about rings. But you think banner, and then, of course, like every World Series champion, they'll have their opener, and they'll probably wear the jerseys with the gold numbers that they'll only wear just the one time. The same color as the trophy that the commissioner of baseball referred to as a piece of metal. When we come back, Steve Wiseman joins us from NOLA, New Orleans, the Big Easy. We'll talk Duke, Carolina. We'll talk Kansas, Villanova, but mainly Duke, Carolina, because, frankly, where we live, there's not a whole lot of people that are too remotely interested in Kansas Villanova right now, except for the result. So we'll talk to Carolina after this.
You are listening to The Score with Brett Wiseman on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
This is Donald Ware, host of Box to Row, jam-packed on the show, talking NBA with Mike Wallace of Grind City Media, talking Final Four, and talking with former Alabama A&M quarterback Aquill Glass, right here on Box to Row.
From press box to press row with Donald Ware, Saturdays at 9 a.m. on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. TRSR Triad Hot Deals, the top deals on sports tickets, dining, and fun in the Triad. Visit TRSRTriadHotDeals.com right now and sign up to get the best area deals in the Triad every week. Powered by Tobacco Road Sports Radio and SportsCarolinaMonthly.com. This month, save big on Carolina Cobras season tickets. Go to 7 home games this season for only $45. That's an $80 value. Buy your 2022 season ticket package now with this exclusive deal from Triad Hot Deals. Visit TRSRTriadHotDeals.com. Visit the sports tab and secure your package. Limited number available. It's TRSRTriadHotDeals.com.
Find your next car at Auto Store of North Carolina in Walkertown. Their goal is to make car shopping and car buying experience fast, friendly, and easy. They have helped hundreds of customers get behind the wheel of a newer, reliable, quality used car, and they could help you too. Stop by and speak with one of their sales professionals today and drive away with your new car. The Auto Store of North Carolina, 4964 Reedsville Road in Walkertown. Give them a call at 336-595-8550 and view the current inventory of vehicles at autostoreofnc.com.
Kim Source Direct is a single source supplier. In business since 2007, they have over 80,000 products for customers just like you. Located in the heart of North Carolina, they supply cleaning products all throughout the Southeast. Whether you're a commercial business, office, or municipal building, looking for wholesale cleaning products, chemicals, cleaning equipment, or service, they've got you covered. Please reach out and start saving money today. Stop by their store open to the public and save. Kim Source Direct, 1207 South Park Drive in Kernersville. Give them a call at 336-515-9990. Order from the website at kimsourcedirect.com. You are locked into Tobacco Road Sports Radio's TGIF lineup.
Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
I ain't set this up. I ain't know nothing about this. This is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Damn it.
You're welcome. TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. Welcome back to The Score with Brett Wiseman here on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
Back here on The Score with Brett Wiseman on Tobacco Road Sports Radio, TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. Brett Wiseman joined by Mr. Will Higdon, and live from New Orleans. It's not quite Saturday night yet, but Steve Wiseman, anxiously awaiting we are. But
Yes.
live from the, is it now the Caesars Superdome? I've lost track of what they keep naming it.
Yeah, that's the name they plaster on the outside of it. It's always the Louisiana Superdome to me. I typed it so many times when I worked down here. So
There you go. You did work for the Times-Picayune for a long, long time. Bear in mind, tonight, the women's Final Four begins. Ladies and gentlemen, got Louisville and South Carolina tonight, as well as UConn and Stanford. Louisville, South Carolina at 7, UConn, Stanford at 9:30.
not NC State. I don't know if you discussed that or not. But
Not NC State, no, as many had assumed would happen. NC State
having the worst year ever. Like
they got hosed. I mean, you know,
they got touched in every.
do we have a time
every aspect.
real quick to delve into this just for a second? If you
Yes,
don't mind?
yes, we do. Yes.
They complain about NCAA and everybody's out to get them and black helicopters and conspiracy theories. This is the one time they actually have a beef about what the NCAA did to them.
Oh, this is the one time they got a point. Yeah.
So, anyway.
lay it out for us for those that don't know.
Yes. So
what happened.
they're the number one seed in the region, in the Bridgeport East region, whatever you want to call it. South Carolina was the number one overall seed of the tournament. They earned that. Obviously, they beat everybody. They beat NC State in Raleigh back in November. So State fans have no beef about that. So South Carolina got to choose where they wanted to go for their region. Greensboro was a host site this year. South Carolina chose Greensboro. That's the rules work. That it was decided on the court. They beat them. That's fine. So the other sites were Bridgeport, Connecticut, Wichita, and Spokane, Washington. So they wanted to put NC State the next closest place for them, which would be Bridgeport, Connecticut. However, they placed UConn in the same region as a number two.
As a 2 seed.
And UConn's fans had bought 80% of the tickets, before the thing even was set. And Nina King, the athletic director from Duke, is the head of the women's basketball selection committee. So here, she said they went by the rules, which technically to the letter of the law they did, but they could have put State in Wichita and had Louisville go to Bridgeport. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal.
Well,
But
Louisville
instead,
probably would have brought a lot of fans to Wichita, would they not?
They did.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as far as being fair, like NC State got
Right,
deal.
yeah.
So they could have got around it.
It's a road game for UConn, or road game for NC State, because UConn is playing in their state. Okay,
Right,
period.
Right. It was like, and people who were at the game said it was like a home atmosphere for UConn. So anyway, I know we don't want to dive into that totally, but this is the one time I have to say, the one time NC State has a legitimate beef about what was done.
For all the times that they complain and gripe, and they have these conspiracy theories and black boxes, and there were two shooters on JFK theories, whatever have it. I don't know. Bigfoot's real. This is the one time they have a gripe. One time they have a gripe.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway,
just nature of the beast.
on
Anyway,
to
Steve.
Final Four that we are at. Yes.
Yes, from New Orleans. What's the vibe like there right now?
Yeah, it's we were talking about it yesterday here at the press conferences on Thursday. Like, is it Saturday night yet? Can we just get to Saturday night? Like we have. It's almost like Super Bowl week where you talk the same storylines over and over, and you cut every matchup down to the nitty gritty. And we've done all that. It's a great matchup. All the history of Duke and Carolina, first time playing in the Final Four. We just game to get here, man. Like, we're ready. The teams are ready. The coaches are ready. Let's do this. Let's see what happens. Let's see, how they shake it out. But there is and I've been to Final Fours before this one, obviously, and there's always a feeling of history and all that. But this one has a little extra in it because of the Duke UNC battle and the 4 teams that are here that all have at least 3 national championships in their program history. That's the most, combined championships of the Final Four there's ever been, right? Like that, all these teams are here with all this history with it. So 4 true blue bloods are here.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about a lot in the first segment was these are not only 3 of the 4 best coaches over the past 15, 20 years in college basketball. And I'll pose this question to you in a minute about Hubert, where he stacks up against the 3 of them right now and kind of what he has to prove here. But yeah, you said it. This is the Final Four of all Final Fours, as Des put it in the first hour. These are all blue bloods. This is not something we get that often. And when you talk about Duke and Carolina having not played each other before, I've told people this for the past 3 or 4 days. You talk about Duke and Carolina not having played each other before in the NCAA tournament, let alone the Final Four, for goodness sakes. It's Coach K's last year. It's Carolina's first year without Roy Williams. If you handed this script with all the storylines and the cacophony of things that are involved here to a Hollywood producer, they toss it out because it's too good to be true.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And there's a history here for Carolina. They've won 2 championships in this building.
Michael Jordan's game-winning shot, I believe, was in the Superdome, if I remember correctly.
That was the first time they ever had a Final Four here. Was 82, and then in 93 they came back. Donald Williams from Garner's Donald Williams was the MVP of that Final
That was
Four.
the infamous Chris Webber timeout, Carolina,
Exactly
Michigan.
right.
Yes,
exactly right. And that was in a stretch where, Duke or UNC were in the Final Four like 6-7 years in a row, whatever the heck it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was unbelievable that stretch. So yeah, it's fitting actually that it's here. I mean, yeah, it's fine. It's good that this is where it is. This is a great venue for the Final Four, and everybody's having a great time.
We and Steve will be on the rundown checking in with us tomorrow morning around about 10:45. I think it was we had it set for Steve. So we were talking about this earlier on, and I think 1991 is the only Final Four I can think of that has the same kind of storylines going on, because you got Duke UNLV on one side. Duke got blasted by 30 the year before. UNLV's coming in undefeated and the number 1 team in the country. So you got a David and Goliath on one side. Then on the other side, you have Carolina, Kansas, mentor, student in terms of Dean Roy Williams.
Yes.
Yep.
Dean gets tossed towards the end of that game.
Yes.
So it prevents which would truly be Armageddon, which would be Duke Carolina in the national championship
Right.
game. I think it's a totally different conversation than what we're having today.
We'd only have 1 day of build-up, though. Is the only thing about that.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Not a week.
Yeah. We would have had a WrestleMania Sunday to think about it, and then
Yeah.
on Monday we just roll the ball out and see what happens.
But you're right.
Steve,
that was the only time
Yeah.
before. And a little story I heard, I think it's been told else before, obviously in 30 years. But after Carolina lost that game, Coach K had to say to the Duke people, like, it's not okay. Like, this doesn't take the pressure off. It's not okay if we lose because they lost. We need to go out and take care of our business. And then they did it, and it was very astute, because I'm sure there was a feeling of, well, they're not going to get further than we are, that kind of thing. In this rivalry.
I hate that logic. I don't know why.
I
don't
know,
where
it's
that came
terrible.
from. The whole, well, at least we got to the
Right.
Elite Eight, and y'all lost in the second round, so our year was better. It's like,
no, I don't care who's saying it. It's wrong. All right.
Steve, I want to ask you this before I get to Coach K specific questions and the vibe around the team. The notion that this will kill the rivalry and make it too nationalized, can we officially say that's been debunked?
It's been nationalized.
It's always been nationalized. Yeah.
It's great.
So this whole argument that this is bad for the rivalry. No. It's
the higher stakes only makes it better.
Exactly.
And to me,
there's a reason we're talking about it as much as we are.
Right. Let's go to baseball for a second, if we will.
Yes.
The reason why the Yankees and the Red Sox are higher level than other rivalries is because they've met in the playoffs. They have those kind of games in their history. The Dodgers and the Giants
Same
also
thing.
have that, right?
Yep.
Like the Cardinals and the Cubs don't.
Steelers Ravens has that. They've played each other in the playoffs a lot. Same thing.
I have to say, with the Cardinals and the Cubs, it's only one team's fault there haven't been. Anyway, I had to get that in there. But anyway, my point is this only raises it to a higher level, so it doesn't ruin it. It makes it better. It enhances it.
Exactly, and I explained this in the first hour. This entire state is going to stop. It's going to look like Green Bay, Wisconsin on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, no one is going to be on the roads unless they're going to or leaving a bar or restaurant establishment or someone else's house. People are going to get people. Yeah. The only people out are going to be NC State fans. Yes, that is correct. Even the Wake Forest fans are probably casual enough to be like, yeah, I'm rooting for Duke or I'm rooting for Carolina.
Right,
the NC State fans are like, nope, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to deal with it. Nope, not listening. No, nope.
I'm tired of this.
I'm sick of it.
Yeah, the governor's coming down, the whole thing. So, it's going to be madness. It's going to be
like Franklin Street's going to be nuts. The entire Duke campus is going to be nuts. Durham is. People are going to pack every place they can pack into to watch this game if they aren't there. I'm sure people are probably traveling to New Orleans just to be there if they can't get into the Superdome.
Right.
So I'm sure there's a lot of Duke fans and Carolina fans down there that might not have tickets that are just there. They'll be on Bourbon Street just watching the game.
Sure, absolutely. It's that kind of atmosphere. It's really cool. Once in a lifetime kind of thing. So we love it. Bring it on.
Yep. And as far as the vibe for Coach K and around the team, what have you heard from K and from Paulo and from some of the other guys that have spoken this week?
Well, they're trying to compartmentalize it to, it doesn't really matter who we're playing. It's a national semifinal. There's a championship berth on the line, so it would be a big game even if it wasn't Duke and UNC, right? Obviously,
right.
Same thing for.
They're trying not to raise the stakes higher than they are.
Trying not to raise the temperature, but it's there. Like he said, it is. He understands why for the fans.
It's human nature.
Outside, it's a bit. All the fans are all week long, and he's really trying to tip down. And Huber's doing the same thing, right? They're trying to keep their guys not to get too hyped up, and like tomorrow's going to be hard. And it's just like, and they've all been through it before. When Duke and UNC play regular season games, it's usually 9:00 start, right? So you wake up, you've got all day of all this energy in your system, and people that haven't been through it, freshmen, whatever, transfers. The first time you go through it, it's, you can peak and hit it, get in the down
in the valley. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
Before the game even starts, then you're exhausted because you've been through it all day. And, this game's not going to start till 9:00 Eastern time. So, that's going to be involved here too. People have to be really smart about their rest and being calm. And, I'm sure there'll be some meditation on both sides, that kind of thing, just trying to stay calm and not blow your energy out before you even get to the court.
Hey, Steve, I was going to ask this question about the difference in age between the rosters of Carolina and Duke. Do you think that'll become a factor? Because Carolina is more experienced in terms of compared to Duke. Duke is fairly young. It's mainly freshmen and sophomores, and Joey Baker along for the ride on the bus.
Those things are what. Yeah, those things are what I thought would prevent them from getting here, frankly. And the fact that they went through this with Michigan State, Texas Tech, Arkansas, and got
all
through
very
it.
experienced teams.
Yeah, I thought one of those was going to take them out. I mean, we've talked about this. So, I think they've. Again, this is a whole nother level, right? Because we're at the Final Four now. We're not in a regional, but and you can say, oh yeah, it's just another game on our list here. But come on, they said I just got done. They had practice here for the last. They had a 50-minute, public practice out in the dome, and the kids were, out there shooting, and it's, it's a huge venue. Whenever you come into one of these domes, it's a whole different feeling, and so. They just
it throws you off shooting wise. It throws a lot of kids off shooting wise because the spatial orientation is different.
Right. And
that's not something a lot of people talk about.
They had private practices yesterday. Duke got here Tuesday night. Carolina got here Wednesday night. They all had private practices, full 2-hour practices in the dome on the court yesterday. Today they had the public things that they do, so people are out there and there's basically a shoot around. But again, they got a feeling of the building, and it's a huge building. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's a different feeling.
Yeah, and we got to get in the break here real quick, but when we come back, Steve, I want to ask you about how Hubert stacks up against the other three coaches total here in this Final Four, and then Will and I very quickly are going to get in a couple NASCAR tidbits.
Okay.
You are listening to The Score with Brett Wiseman on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
Beamer Tire and Auto Repair, now with 3 locations across the Triad in High Point, Greensboro, and our new location in Kernersville. Beamer Tire and Auto offers full-service auto repair, all tire brands, free alignment changes, and more. In Kernersville, check out the no appointment needed Quick Lube shop. Check out their thousands of 5-star ratings via Google and Yelp. They care because they know that you can go anywhere. So try a shop with a beating heart, not a bottom line. Beamer Tire and Auto Repair. Visit us on
You deserve to get good service and great rates. At State Farm, we get it. And we're here because with every State Farm policy, you get good neighbor service and you get surprisingly great rates. So what are you waiting for? Get going and talk to a local State Farm agent about your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
When you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Susanna Nunn in Kernersville today.
One stop number 6, located just 1 mile west of East Forsyth at 2748 West Mountain Street, Kernersville. A proud supporter of East Forsyth since 1983, serving fresh fried chicken and our famous taters 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. For a limited time, grab our Wife Saver family meal for only $13.99. 8 pieces of chicken and sides for just $13.99. One stop. Come see us at 2748 West Mountain Street in Kernersville.
This is Coach Rez, head coach of your Carolina Cobras arena football team. You're listening to TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com, your home for Triad Sports.
And you know this, man.
Welcome back to The Score with Brett Wiseman here on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
Back here on The Score with Brett Wiseman here on Tobacco Road Sports Radio, TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. One final time, joined by our producer, Desmond Johnson, the awesome Will Higdon, and Steve Wiseman live from New Orleans. 2 more questions for you, Steve, while we still have you here, and we still got some time. We got to be out of here 30 minutes earlier than usual. But Hubert Davis goes up against the established guard here, not just in terms of Coach K, but on the other side of the ledger here, Bill Self versus Jay Wright. If Carolina wins, he's going to have to play one of them. So my question to you here is, where do you think Hubert stacks up, and where do you think his mind is at when he looks at, this is his chance to make a statement? I think that's obvious.
It is.
This is his chance to get that foot in the door.
Right, and he's made a big statement by making it here, just making it here. But he's got 3 guys, Hall of Fame type coaches, right? And some that are in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And obviously he doesn't have the longevity, but he's off to a hell of a start, right? So
pretty darn good start.
Hard
right.
to get better than this. And he's
like Dez said earlier in the program, Carolina's playing with house money here. They weren't supposed to be here.
Right. That's right. And it's funny. Somebody yesterday asked about them being the underdog here, and Hubert kind of bristled at that and said, well, we've been to more Final Fours than any program in the whole world. So we're not an underdog.
Well, they've been the underdog since February. So
Right.
And this is Coach K's 13th Final Four, by the way, most of any coach ever.
Yeah, he broke that with John Wooden last weekend.
While we still got you here.
Carolina fans love nothing more than be called underdog. Keep telling us we're the underdog. It's insane to us because we've been here more than anybody else. But
more people, as we mentioned earlier in the program, more people are betting on UNC to win this game than are Duke right now. That's how it's trending, even though Duke's a 4-point favorite right now. So,
I mean, honestly, does it feel like there's a single team there, Steve, that's just better than the other 3?
No, there isn't. That's what's great about it. We honestly don't know what's going to happen. Like I remember a couple of years ago when in 18 when Kansas and Villanova played in one semifinal, and I forget it was the other one. I think Michigan may have been. Anyway, but whoever won the semifinal, you knew was going to win the national championship, right?
Was that the year Wisconsin and Frank Kaminsky made it?
No, that was 15. That was
15. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about in 2018 when Kansas.
18. Yeah.
The last time Villanova won it, it was almost like once they got. And we've had a couple of those. Over history, you've had like one superstar semifinal, and then a couple of upsets got this other semifinal matchup that you knew was like not going to measure up. That's not the case this week. That's not, even though Villanova's injured, which sucks, right? Which lost one of their good players. They're not. They still have a lot of talent. They can still win this thing. It would be better if they weren't injured, but they can still win it. They're not dead by any stretch. But anyway, we're going to have a great matchup Monday night, no matter who comes out of the semifinals.
Who do you think's under more pressure here, Duke or Carolina?
Well, I think it's Duke. I mean, there's no question. I mean, this is it. If they lose, it's the nightmare scenario of, hey, we wanted another shot at Carolina, and oh crap, it happened again.
I loved Paulo's answer to that question. No, you're not going to get me again. Good try, Tracy Wolfson.
Yeah, that was good.
Kay got at him and was like, you don't do that.
Yeah. It would have been worse if he would have said, I did talk to PR people at Duke. It would have been worse if he would have said, we want to play Virginia Tech. We're sick of Carolina. That would have been worse. But he didn't do that. Anyway, no, I mean, Duke, if they lose, Coach K's career's over. Carolina will send him out the door. That's the worst thing that could have happened. So they wanted another shot. Well, here you go. They got it. So we'll see.
I never understood that because Carolina fans were the ones that didn't want to play this game again. The Duke fans were all like, yes, we want to play again.
Although I will tell you that after Duke won Saturday night in San Francisco, I ran into a lot of people who said they were pulling for the Peacocks because they didn't want to deal with this.
Yep.
Obviously, they would have played. St. Peter's is not as good a team as Carolina. I mean, obviously, if they had gotten here, it would have been a great story, but they wouldn't want to play it. So
no,
Duke would have been a heavy favorite, correct? Right? I mean,
Dez even said he was confident that there was not going to be an upset there. So
yeah, I mean,
anyway, I knew halfway through the first half, it's like, well, this is about to happen. So
I was on a plane from San Francisco. I watched it on the plane, and this is done. I said, somebody, this is over.
Yeah,
10 minutes. Man.
It was, that's exactly what Des said. 10-minute mark of the first half.
Yep.
You knew it was over, and you started to think about, the wheels are going in motion here.
Coverage. That's right.
Yep. Speaking of wheels, but they're only attached to one lug nut this time instead of 4. Will Higdon, very quickly, a couple of NASCAR tidbits. We had the race at COTA, the race at Atlanta. That was really exciting. And the pit stop will return here in a couple weeks when Bowman Gray gets started later this month. But this next-gen car, we're seeing more parity in this sport than we've seen in recent years a lot of times. We've seen first-time winners here. We've seen guys that are normally not fast that are fast. Ross Chastain finally gets his first Cup win, first win for Trackhouse. Pitbull hops in the car and does burnouts with him. But I want to get your take on what happened at the end of that race. Are you on Team Allmendinger from that, or are we on Team Chastain there?
Honestly, I'm on Team Chastain. Now,
100%.
Yeah, I don't think Chastain did anything wrong. I think it looks a lot worse.
Allmendinger hit him in the butt first?
Yeah, I mean,
So then you've got every right to go bump him back, right?
Yeah, Allmendinger bumped him first. I think it looks worse because Bowman was to the outside and Dinger hit Bowman. But if Bowman wasn't there, I think Allmendinger would have been able to save it and just keep going and finish second or third. He wouldn't have fell all the way back to 30th like he did. So that's really why it looks a lot worse than it does. But yeah, Chastain didn't do anything wrong. Allmendinger bumped him first and Ross bumped him back. That's NASCAR.
The funniest thing about it is, A, all this beating and banging happened on a road course. That's what made it twice as fun. B, on the broadcast, us all the old guard can say, we shouldn't turn right. Look what happened. You got the racing you wanted, didn't you? Was it Clint Boyer on the broadcast said, oh, he might come back. Oh, he might take out both of them. Guess what? He took out both of them.
Okay, gotta love Clint Boyer, am I right?
Oh, man. Clint's, I'm not too pleased with the Fox rotating booth thing here.
Oh, I'm not either, no. I will say Tony has been pretty good in the booth.
Tony, for a guy that hated the media his entire career, for Tony Stewart to be in the position, Steve knows what we're talking about here.
It's amazing.
Tony Stewart would throw Hans devices at people. I believe he tried to strangle somebody at one. I don't know. I'm probably exaggerating, but for somebody that hated being interviewed and hated Fox and Fox people and legit went on a Fox interview before a race and said, "Oh, it's Darryl Waltrip up in the booth that's talking crap about me." Now he's in said booth with said network. Oh, how things come full circle. But yeah, great race at the Circuit of the Americas. This week, where are we this week?
I believe it is. Is it Richmond?
I believe it is. Yes, Richmond, and then I think there's an off week next week, and then Easter Sunday night is Bristol Dirt. So get ready for that, because normally Easter is the off weekend, but that's been flip-flopped now. Tomorrow on the rundown, that guy up at the top left corner, Steve Wiseman, he'll be back on there. B-Dot, he'll be there as well. David Glenn, Chris Lee, Dennis Cox, all kinds of fun people. Also, one piece of breaking news while we have it. Chris Sale, he has no timetable for his return. Also, Jacob deGrom is out for opening day, and God knows how long. Significant time. He's been diagnosed with a stress fracture in his scapula. So the MLB's best arm, arguably, again, will be on the shelf, and that's a shame for everybody, because Steve and I saw him pitch in person one time, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing if you can see that dude pitch. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Dez. Enjoy the game tomorrow night, wherever you're enjoying it from, and enjoy it safely. And if your team doesn't win, please don't be that guy.
Well, I feel like you were looking at me. Were you looking at me?
No, not at all. No.
Do you feel seen?
Staring at me.
We're all.
I was talking to everyone.
Let's bomb Tim's roulette.
Enjoy the food, Steve. Get the Zion special.